Shirupam Sagridatam Sayanaraguntam Vitantam Sudhim Sajatam Sarvadutam Parajana Satam Krishna Charitam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Musagan Vitam Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhano Sade Devi Pranamani Hari Priya Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vihevacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're reading from Jaiva Dharma by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So 14th chapter, Dashamula Tattva, 10 essential truths established by Mahaprabhu. So Pramed Tattva, so Shakti Tattva is explained. So Brajanath is asking Babaji Maharaj in regards to Shakti Tattva. So Raghunath Das Babaji, disciple of famous Raghunath Das, known as Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis. So Brajanath is asking, why do the tantric brahmanas call Shiva's potency Durga? Babaji, the deluding potency Maya Shakti is called Shiva Shakti. This Maya has 3 modes, named Sattva, Raja and Tama. Brahmanas in the Sattvic mode worship Maya in a pure way as the form that embodies Sattva Gun. Brahmanas in the Rajasic mode worship Maya in a form that embodies Rajagun, and Brahmanas in the Tamasic mode worship Maya as the presiding deity of darkness, Tamagun, taking ignorance to be knowledge. In fact, Maya Shakti is only a name for the transformation, Vikar, of Bhagavan's Parashakti in the form of its shadow, Chaya. It is not a separate, independent Shakti. Maya is the whole sole cause of the Jiva's bondage and liberation. When the Jiva becomes opposed to Krishna, Maya punishes him by throwing him into worldly bondage. However, when the Jiva becomes favorable to Krishna, the same Maya manifests the sattvic quality and gives knowledge of Krishna. She then liberates him from worldly bondage and makes him qualified to attain love of Krishna. So the external potency Maya, Mahamaya is there, binding the Jiva to this world. And Daivi Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, Yoga Maya, is helping the Jivas to become free and to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Consequently, the Jivas bound by the modes of Maya cannot see the pure form of Maya, that is the Surup Shakti of Bhagavan, and they worship Maya alone as the primary Lord Shakti. The jivas in the state of illusion can only realize this advanced philosophical truth by good fortune and by the power of Sukriti. Otherwise, being bewildered by Maya and entangled in false conclusions, he remains bereft of real knowledge. Brajanath. In Gokul Upasana, Durga Devi has been counted among Sri Hari's associates. Who is Durga of Gokul? Babaji, Durga of Gokul is none other than Yoga Maya. She is situated as the seat of transformation of Chit Shakti. So when she is present in the spirit world, she considers herself to be non-different from the Swarup Shakti. So Durga can refer to the internal potency, non-different from Swarup Shakti, and also external potency, which is Mahamaya. Even in the Radha Sahasranam, 1,000 names of Radha, Durga is mentioned. Name of Radharani is Durga also. So just like Krishna is Mool Roop, so Radharani is Mool Shakti. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and Srimati Radharani is the original concept of Krishna, the eternal potency, original gurus of fortune, gurus of learning. The material Maya is only a transformation of that Yoga Maya. Durga situated in the material world is an attendant maidservant of that Durga of the Swarup Shakti in the spirit world. The Durga of the Swarup Shakti is Leela, Poshana Shakti, the potency that nourishes Krishna's pastimes. The gopis taking complete shelter of the Paraki Bhav, Paramor Maud, bestowed by Yoga Maya, nourish Krishna's Rasa Vilas in the spirit world. The purport of the statement Yoga Maya Upashritaha from Srimad Bhagavatam 10 Canto 29 chapter, first verse, about the Rasa Lila is that there are many such activities in Krishna's transcendental pastimes that appear like ignorance due to the Swarup Shakti, but actually they are not. So this is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Rasa Panchadhyaya, the chapters describing Krishna's wonderful Ras Leela, transcendental dance with the gopis. And there are 5 chapters known as Rasa Panchadhyaya. And so this is the first verse. Yoga Maya Upashitaha, famous, taking shelter of Yoga Maya. So these transcendental pastimes in Golok or even in this world are manifested. The loving exchange between Krishna and the gopis. In order to nourish Maharas, Yogamaya stages activities that appear to be performed in ignorance. We will analyze this subject in detail later on when we discuss Ras. So for some people, so the loving exchange between Krishna and the gopis, and they seem to be not proper, and they seem to be, as mentioned here, done in ignorance or in passion, but they are transcendental activities, so the internal potency. that he will discuss later on. That is a very deep subject matter, very esoteric, and can be easily misunderstood. But the devotees who have been engaged in devotional service steadily, following rules and regulations, they may eventually be able to understand that subject matter and appreciate and even then relish that subject matter. So, but that is not discussed in detail in the beginning of the devotee's life. So therefore here also Babaji is telling Brajanath that we will discuss later. Brajanath, there is one thing that I wish to know concerning Dham Tattva. Can you tell me why do the Vaishnavas refer to Navadip as Sri Dham? Babaji, Sri Navadip Dham and Sri Vrindavan Dham are not different from each other, and Mayapur is the highest truth within Navadip Dham. The relationship of Sri Mayapur to Navadip is the same as the relationship of Sri Gokul to Braj. Mayapur is the Mahayoga Pit, the great place of meeting of Navadip. According to the slok Channa Kalau, Srimad Bhagavatam, the plenary avatar of Bhagavan who appears in Kali Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is covered, and similarly, his holy abodes are also covered. It's a famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, indicating Mahaprabhu, and that Chana Kala also. So somewhat hidden and not so easily understood by everyone. So similarly, Mayapur and Navadip are not understood by everyone. In Kali Yuga, no other place is equal to Sri Navadip. Only one who can realize the transcendental nature of this Dham is actually qualified for Brajaras. The many holy places, Tirthas, and Dham, just like Char Dham are there, like in the Himalayas, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, Yamunotri, all in the 4 directions of Bharadvarsha, Haridwar, Dwarka, in the south Rameshwar, and so the north Haridwar, in the west Dwarka, in the south Rameshwar, and in the east Puri, Dham. So, but actually the most important holy places are Mayapur and Navadip. And not only in the age of Kali, but in any time, so that is only recognized in this material world by very fortunate souls. So in the spiritual world also there are unlimited Vaikuntha planets where Vishnu, different Vishnu Murtis are residing with the eternal consorts Lakshmi, Devi. And then there's Ayodhya Dham where Ramchandra Bhagavan is residing. And then is Krishna Loka, which is the highest, which is the most wonderful planet. And there we have Dwarkapuri, Mathurapuri, and then we have Gokul, Braj, Dham, and Chaitadip, Navadip. It's actually Golok. And Navadip are the most celebrated, most exalted, most wonderful holy places. So Navadip is not different from Golok, Braj. At the same time, it is also separately situated. It is part of Golok. So similarly, Krishna is eternally residing in Golok, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eternally residing in Navadvip. And they perform their wonderful pastimes. And so Mahaprabhu is not different from Radha Krishna, but specifically is there to register love and the transcendental experiences of Srimati Radharani and the transcendental pleasure of Srimati Radharani. In the age of Kali, as mentioned here, and as we can realize, so Brajadham is most exalted. So, but in order to reach Brajadham and the most exalted loving relationship of Krishna with the gopis, with Srimati Radharani in Parakiya Bhav, so one has to take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Navadip Dham, and then we may be able to enter the realm of Braj, so in consciousness, and understand this subject matter. So it is mentioned that the 12 forests of Braj are also situated in Navadip. So, and by the mercy of Navadip Dham, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, we may realize Brajadham. Otherwise, in the age of Kali, it is difficult to realize Brajadham and the most wonderful loving exchange of Krishna with his associates, especially the gopis. From the external material point of view, both Brajadham and Navadip Dham appear to be mundane. Only those whose spiritual eyes have by some good fortune been opened can see the Dham as it is. So, many people here come to the Dham and then they will see, especially nowadays, so many buildings, it is not clean, so many materialistic persons are there. Actually, it is a covering of the holy Dham. That has been explained by the Acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And most people who come here, they are not able to really enter the Dham. They cannot really see the Dham. They can see only the material manifestation, the external manifestation of the Dham. So in order to be really in the Dharma, one has to be fully absorbed in spiritual activities. And when one becomes free from the modes of material nature, then one will be situated in the Dharma. And then one can really be engaged in the loving exchange with Krishna. So therefore it is recommended that one take shelter of the spiritual master, the representative of the Lord. Krishna Kripa Srimurti, the embodiment of Krishna's mercy. So by this mercy of the spiritual master we may be able to enter the Dharma, to be able to see the Dharma as it is. Brajanath. I want to know the Swarup of this Navadip Dham, Babaji. Goloka, Vrindavan and Shetadip are the inner compartments of Paravyom, the spiritual sky. Sri Krishna's Swakya Leela takes place in Goloka. Sri Krishna's Swakya Leela takes place in Goloka. So that is Sakyamians, just like in Vaikuntha. So Lakshmi Narayan, or even Sitaram, or Krishna in Dwarka, with Rukmini and the Gopis. So there's a loving relationship, conjugal relationship. And they are practically always together in loving exchange, just like husband and wife. Whereas in Braj, Krishna and Radharani are there. They belong to each other, they are absorbed in each other, but because of their age also, because of Krishna's will, Krishna's desire, Krishna's arrangement. Krishna is in Nanda Bhavan, Kishoravasta, 15 years old boy, youth, and Radharani, she's Kishori, 13 years old. So that relationship is most wonderful. So because they are externally staying separately, Radharani and Varshana, but they meet every day. Radharani comes to cook for Krishna in the morning in Nandagaon for Varshana, and then she goes back. And then, then they meet at Radhakund at noon time, and again at night time, perform Ras Leela, or in Nikunja Leela. So because they are not staying together and not officially married, belonging to each other, but actually belong to each other. But they don't stay together, so therefore that relationship is known as Parakya Bhav. So in the spiritual realm it is the highest relationship and most pleasurable for the divine couple. So whereas in the material world, so that is considered to be highly improper to have a relationship with a woman but not living together, not being married. So in the spiritual sky, mostly Swakya Lila is there, Swakya Ras. But Parakya Lila is in Braj, Vrindavan, the innermost part of Golok. And then the supplementary Lila known as Parishishta Lila takes place in Shwetadeep. Just like somebody is writing a book. Of course, there's some introduction, and then book is written, where maybe, and then sometimes there's an appendix. So some further explanation is there, or clarification is there in regards to the book. So that is known as Parishishta. So that is Navadvip Lila, Shwetadeep Navadvip. So because Krishna is, although it's perfect and complete, but in Braj, so the loving exchange is there with his associates, with Srimati Radharani, the gopis. And Krishna, of course, is all-knowing, so he knows the love of the gopis of Radharani. But he cannot fully relish that, because Krishna is Vishai. Is the object, and Radharani is Vishai. So Krishna is the object of love. And Radharani is the shelter, ashray, the abode of love. So she has this most wonderful love, most exalted love for Krishna. So Krishna is situated in Radharani's heart, and Radharani is situated in Krishna's heart. So he knows also, but he cannot fully relish that love and pleasure of Radharani, because he's there in the loving exchange. He's the Vishai Vigraha. He's the recipient of the Lord. So therefore the form of Mahaprabhu is there. It's Krishna himself, but with the love and the luster and the bhav of Srimati Radharani. In the form of Mahaprabhu, he can relish the love of Srimati Radharani. He can experience to the fullest extent the bliss of Srimati Radharani. It's a very amazing, wonderful, esoteric and pastime of the Lord, of Radha Krishna, and then Navadvip Lila with Mahaprabhu. In Tata, there's no difference between these three dhams: Golok, Vrindavan, and Shwetadeep. Navadvip is really Shwetadeep, so it is not different from Vrindavan. The residents of Navadvip are very fortunate, for they are associates of Gauranga Dev. One can only attain residence of Navadvip after performing many pious activities. Some ras is not manifest in Vrindavan, but that very ras is manifest in Navadvip as a supplement of Vrindavan ras. One experiences that ras only when one becomes competent to relish it. Brajanath, how large is Navadvip Dham? Babaji Maharaj, the area of Sri Navadvip Dham is 16 crores and is shaped like that of a lotus flower with 8 petals, which are the 8 islands. So of course that refers to Navadvip in this world, in Prakat Lila. So Antardvip is the center, and then the other 8 dvipas are like the lotus petal. So Antardvip is the center of the lotus petal. So Navadvip is in the shape of a lotus flower with 8 petals. Antardvip in the center. And then Simantadvip, Godrumdvip, Madhyadvip, Kuladvip, Ritudvip, Janadvip, Mudrumdvip, and Rudradvip. Antardvip, which is situated in the center of this island, is like the whirl of the lotus flower, and Shimaipur is situated at the very heart of this Antardvip. One can quickly attain love of Krishna by performing Sana Bhajan in Navadvip Dham, and especially in Mayapur. The Mahayoga Pit, the residence or mandir of Sri Jagannath Mishra, is situated in the center of Mayapur, and in this very yoga pit, the most fortunate of all jivas always take darshan of Sri Gauranga Dev's Nitya Leela. Prajnath. Are the pastimes of Sri Gauranga Dev a work of Swarup Shakti? Babaji. Sri Gaura's pastimes are arranged by the same Shakti who arranges Sri Krishna's pastimes. There's no difference between Sri Krishna and Gauranga Dev. So they're not different. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahinanya. So they are not different. Krishna and Gauranga Dev. At the same time they are simultaneously manifested separately. Krishna is in Braj and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gauranga in Mayapur, Navadvip. Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami says, Radha Krishna Pranay Viklidya Larini Shakti Rasmad Ekatmanav Apibhuvi Pura Dehabidam Katautam Chaitannakam Prakadamadodadadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhavajuti Suviratam Nami Krishna Sarupam. So that is also mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Adi Lila, first chapter, slok number 5. Radha Krishna are intrinsically one. However, they are manifest eternally in 2 forms through the influence of Ladini Shakti. In the form of their pranay vikar, because of the eternality of their pastimes, Vilas Tattva. Now these 2 tattvas are manifest in one Swarup in the form of Chaitanya Tattva. Therefore I bow down to the Swarup Shakti of Krishna that is endowed with the loving sentiments and lust of Srimati Radhika. Radha Bhavaduti Suviratam Nam Krishna Sarupam. So it's Krishna Sarup, know me, our fool. I bow down to him. Radha Bhav Duty Suvaritam. So he has accepted Radha Bhav and duty, the complexion. Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are both eternally manifest. It cannot be determined which of them came earlier and who came later. First Chaitanya was there and then Radha Krishna manifest, and now they have merged together again and appear in the form of Chaitanya Dev. The understanding of this statement is not that one of them existed earlier and the other appeared later. Both manifestations are eternal. They are present for all time and will exist for all time. All the pastimes of the Supreme Truth are eternal. Those who think that one of these pastimes is principal and the other is secondary are ignorant of the truth and devoid of rasa. So the pastimes of Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna are eternally going on since time immemorial. And they are not different, Krishna and Mahaprabhu. At the same time, so they are also separately manifested. Achinta Beda Bed, inconceivable, one and different. And they are addressed as Swayam Bhagavan, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so we cannot say, as explained here, that first Krishna was there and then Mahaprabhu came. Or we cannot say that first Mahaprabhu is there and Radha Krishna appeared. No. They're both there since time immemorial.
I have a question. Although they are both there simultaneously, but then still, how come Mahaprabhu's Lila is a Parishisht Lila? Because that should be actually after that. Right?
It should be after?
Parishisht means leftover from the previous one.
Yeah.
So Krishna's Lila is first, then Mahaprabhu's Lila comes. Then how come they're simultaneously there?
Yeah.
Because that's a Parishisht Lila, Mahaprabhu's. So how do we reconcile it?
So the explanation is given in this way, so which we accept. So everything, so and just like Vaikuntha also, many planets are there in Vaikuntha. And many Vishnumurtis are there, and Mathuresh and Dwarkadish are there. They are all non different from Krishna and separately manifest also. And they are also eternal. But Krishna is the origin. But they are so we can also in this case here we cannot say that although it is mentioned that the emanations of Krishna at the same time they are all eternal since time immemorial, so Vishnu existed. But Krishna is the origin of everything. So so similarly also the case with Mahaprabhu. So non-different and since time immemorial Mahaprabhu existed. So there's no beginning and no end of the spiritual world of Krishna, of Mahaprabhu, Narayan. So with one's material intelligence, we cannot really understand that subject matter. So, but if one is transcendently situated, then one can appreciate how Krishna is the origin of everything and everything is included in him, ultimately. And since time immemorial, they're manifested. And so Golok is the highest realm, and Braj Vrindavan is the center of Golok, and Krishna's pastimes are there since time immemorial. And so Mahaprabhu is manifested also since time immemorial. And is there in the mood of, is Krishna also non-different from Krishna? But is there to relish the mood and is there with the luster of Srimati Radharani. So relishing. So Krishna is perfect and complete. So the spirit world is manifested, is there since time immemorial. No beginning, and there's no end. And these pastimes are there since time immemorial in the spirit world. And the Krishna is the source of everything. All Vaikuntha planets and Vishnu forms, they remain emanations of Krishna, but since time immemorial they are present. Similarly, Mahaprabhu also. And so Vishnu is aware of Krishna as the source of everything, and Mahaprabhu also. And Mahaprabhu so is no different, Gauranga Sundar, Radha Krishna, and he's thinking about Radha and Krishna always, or the pastimes of Krishna and Braj in the spiritual realm since time immemorial. Because in the form of Krishna, so as explained, he knows everything, but he cannot be in the mood or in the form of Radharani and relish that form or that bliss of Radharani. Because he's the recipient of love, and he has to exchange the love with Krishna, with Radharani, and so many gopis, and then the Gopas and Maria Yashoda. So he cannot be in the mood of Radharani, but he wants to know the love of Radharani, therefore Mahaprabhu's form is there. So he can relish the love of Srimati Radharani, the highest love, and the highest bliss is there. So because as Krishna, he cannot fully relish, although he knows everything, but he cannot be in the form of Radharani, because he's there as Krishna and he has to exchange the love with Radharani. So therefore the form of Mahaprabhu is there. Since time immemorial, so he can relish the love of Srimati Radharani. So it is quite inconceivable, the pastime of Srimati of Krishna and the pastime of Mahaprabhu. So, but with one's material intelligence, one cannot really comprehend, one cannot grasp the absolute truth completely. But by performing devotional service, by becoming transcendently situated, then we can have some understanding, some glimpse. So with one's material consciousness, we cannot grasp the transcendental realm. Only if one is transcendently situated, then we can have some understanding. So even here, in this realm of this world, so eternal life is not possible to understand for the conditioned souls, how we can be eternal. Because in this material world, everything has a beginning, stays for some time, and then it vanishes. So even there, so therefore we can not easily understand eternal life. But if one is transcendently situated beyond the material world, beyond the modes of material nature, then one can grasp eternality, eternal life. And then we can grasp, by the mercy of the Lord, to some extent, the transcendental realm, transcendental abode of the Lord, Kolok, Braj. And then we can to some extent realize Krishna and Krishna's opulence, Krishna's pastimes and Mahaprabhu's pastimes, and how they are non-different and different. And they are, since time immemorial, they are existing. So since time immemorial, Mahaprabhu is in that form, because in Krishna Lila, he cannot relish fully the love of Radharani and the bliss she is experiencing, because he's the recipient of that love. So therefore the form of Mahaprabhu is there since time immemorial. So you can relish that. So they are not different, Radha Krishna, but they are different. But in the form of Mahaprabhu, so you can relish that. So and so Braj, Golok is the highest realm, and Braj is the center. That is the highest realm. And Navadvip is not different, but at the same time separately manifest also. And most of the associates of Krishna, they're there in Navadvip. So in serving Mahaprabhu and absorbed then also in serving Mahaprabhu, but then also absorbed in remembering Krishna and Krishna's pastimes. So the transcendental realm is achintya, is inconceivable. But by being fully absorbed, one can transcend this material world by the mercy of the spiritual master Mahaprabhu and Krishna, and then one can get a glimpse of the transcendental realm and have some understanding. Jaiva Nishan, Jai Mahaprabhu. If Sri Gauranga Dev is directly to complete plenary truth, what then is the process for his worship? Babaji, worshipping Gaura by chanting Gaur Nam mantra awards the same benefit as worshipping Krishna by chanting his holy names in Krishna Nama mantra. Worshipping Gaura through Krishna mantra is the same as worshipping Krishna by the Gaur mantra. Those who believe that there is a difference between Gaura and Krishna are extremely foolish. They're simply servants of Kali. So, the devotees of Mahaprabhu, they chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So by chanting the Mahamantra, one can worship Mahaprabhu Gauranga, one can realize Gauranga. At the same time also by chanting the Mahamantra, one will realize Radha and Krishna. And so the name Gaura and the name Krishna, as explained here, they're also not different. By chanting Gaura Nam, Gaura, Gaura or Gauranga, so Krishna or Radha Krishna can be realized. And by chanting Krishna, Krishna, of course then one can also realize Gaura. But specifically the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, as In our Sampradaya, and that's taught by Mahaprabhu himself, they are mainly chanting the Maha Mantra. But sometimes some other mantras are chanted by Mahaprabhu also. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopala Govindaram Simadhusudan Giridhari Gopinata Madana Mohan. When he was in South India, he chanted Krishna 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 Hey Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahimam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshanam. So just like Krishna's pastimes, very deep, very confidential, and mystical, similarly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are deep, confidential, mystical. And to fully understand is not so easy. So in the spiritual world, Krishna is always in Braj. At the same time he's in Mathura also, and in Dwarka, and at the same time he's there as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that they are manifested in this world also. But there Krishna so is appearing in Mathura and in Gokul. But then Vasudeva Krishna is merging in Yashodanandan. And then he's performing his pastimes in Braj, in this world. And then he's going later on to Mathura, but then Yashodananda is becoming a Prakat. And then Mathuresh is Prakat, and then Dwarkadish later. And then in Golila also, the original form of Gauranga Sundar is always in Navadvip. And when Mahaprabhu is taking sannyas, that is practically expanded form. Because Satchinandan is always in Navadvip, the original form. So, most wonderful pastimes of the Lord.
Can I ask a question? In Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the second line, Hare Ram, we consider also that remembering of Radharaman or Radha Mohan. And so when Mahaprabhu was chanting this mantra, the one you just were singing, Krishna Keshav, and Rama Raga. So was he remembering Lord Ram at Rama Raga, or he was also remembering Krishna's pastime even in that?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so mostly he was remembering Radha and Krishna, or Krishna and Braj. At the same time, in Prakat Lila also, so especially after taking sannyas. Of course, even in Navadvip actually, in Prakat Lila, so sometimes he was manifesting the form of Nrsingadev, just to show that everyone is included in him. His Angshi Avatari is the origin of everyone, just like Krishna. But mostly he was absorbed in remembering Krishna. Similarly, also after taking sannyas in Puri, mostly he was remembering Krishna and Braj, or Radha Krishna. At the same time then, as he was distributing the holy names and giving transcendental knowledge, so he was respecting, just to show also that we should respect all personalities of Godhead. Even we should respect the demigods. And we should respect all jivas who are part and parcels of Krishna. So, he was going to different temples. Even in Puri, so Nishingadev temple, and then he was glorifying Nishingadev. He went to Singhachalan, he went to Ahovilam, and then respecting Nishingadev. So if a Ram temple was there, then he was respecting Ramchandra Bhagavan. So when he was chanting Rama Raghava, so he was also remembering Ram. But mostly he was remembering Krishna and Krishna and Braj. But not always. But then he was remembering Ram also. And so Krishna Keshava. So he made it remember all the expenses of the Lord. Or also Dwarkadish. Or Vishnu. But mostly he was remembering Krishna. And while chanting the Maha Mantra, so there then mostly, so he was remembering Radha Krishna, and there in Hare Ram mostly he was remembering Radhika Raman, Krishna and Braj performing his pastimes with Srimati Radharani, Raman roaming around in the forest of Braj. So, but Ram Raghav, of course, that refers to Ramchandra Bhagavan. Rama Raghava, so Raghav refers to Ramchandra in Ayodhya. So, but Ram is an expanded form of Krishna. And so, and Mahaprabhu, so he was mostly worshipping, mostly remembering Krishna, and also then giving that mood. So even while chanting Ram, or seeing Ramchandra Bhagavan in the temple, or Nishingadev in the temple, still he can also remember Krishna. Even when we take darshan as devotees of Krishna, Krishna and Braj, we see a Ram temple, so we see Ram at the same time we also see Krishna. We see Nishingadev, Jai Nishingadev, Pranam. But we know that Nishingadev is an expanded form of Krishna. Is there to give some protection, to purify our heart also. But still, if one has love for Krishna and Braj, he will always see Krishna and Braj, even while seeing another form of the Lord. But he's reminded of Krishna always. So even the pure devotees in this world as sadhakas, they will see in this way. So what to speak of Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Lord, as coming as a devotee, as the greatest of devotees, is always remembering Krishna in Braj. Same time if the form of Ram is there, or he's singing Rama Raghava, so to some extent he's remembering Ram, but at the same time he's never forgetting Krishna and Braj, because he's not different from Krishna and Braj. And that we can see the devotees also. At least. So, and most of the devotees were absorbed in Braj Bhav. They would see Krishna and Braj. They will go anywhere. So, they will see some hill. Oh, Govardhan. See some river, Jai Yamuna Devi. So, see any deity. I remember Krishna and Braj. Even you see Shiva, is an expanded form of Krishna, is a devotee of Krishna. Durga Devi, expanded form of the internal potency, Srimati Radharani. Stavara Jangam Deki Naideki Murti Sarvatra Hoy. Nijeva Ishtadev is Purti, that is mentioned for the devotees. Wherever they go, they will see not just the body. Yes, Sajan? They will see also Krishna is there in the heart. So, the spirit of Krishna, Supreme Lord, who is coming as a devotee, who is there as a devotee, showing how to see Krishna everywhere, Krishna in Braj. So he was chanting Rama Raghava, so remembering something Ram, but then also still remembering Krishna, Srimati Radharani. Anything, any question? Priya? No question? No question? Everything clear?
Gurudev, just like Sweet Vaikuntha and Golok, and there is Svetdeep Navdeep, eternal.
What?
Svetadweep
Shvetadweep.
Navdeep is there, no?
Yeah,
In spiritual sky.
yeah. It is always there. Shvetadweep means Navadweep. That is known as Shvetadweep. But even Golok, to some extent, is also it's mentioned also here in Brahma Samhita. That Braj Vrindavan is also sometimes addressed as Shvetadweep. In the last autumn, we recite Brahma Samhita. Shya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpadaro Durmavu Vischintamani Ganameta Imamritam Kataganam Natyam Ganamavapi Vamsi Priyasaki Chidanandam Jyoti Paramabhi Tadas Samavijasa Yatrakshara Vishwavyaschatamaham Nimeshadakyo Vavrajati Nahiyat Tabisaye Bhaje Sheta Deepam Tamahami Hagalo Kavityam Vidantaste Santakshitim Virala Charakiripaye. So this is a description of Braj. Bhaje Shweta Dipam. So Bhaje. So Brahmaji is saying, worship that Shweta Dip. Golok. Braj, that is also addressed as Shweta Dip. At the same time, so Navadip. So Navadip is anyhow is part of Braj, of Golok. But specifically is also known as Shweta Dip. So the Shweta Dip can refer to Golok, Braj, or it is Navadip, Shvetadip. In this world also, Kshirodaksha Vishnu, Paramatma, is residing in a planet known as Shvetadip, which is beyond this material world, but it is inside this material world, so to say, but it is beyond. So it's residing in Shvetadip. Paramatma Vishnu. But the original Shvetadip that is in the spiritual realm, Navadip, Golok is known as Shvetadip also. So different names for this realm, highest realm, Golok, Vrindavan, Shvetadip. So they're not different, but different also. So innermost part is where Radha Krishna performed their pastimes. And then next to it is just Navadip, where Mahaprabhu is residing, who is not different from Radha Krishna. It's Krishna, but in the mood with the lust of Radharani.
So there means Gurudev, those who live in Antardip, especially Mayapur, can attain Krishna Prem quickly.
Yeah. So you want to go to Mayapur? Yeah, it is. Special mercy is there at the same time. Even there, it's not that it is so easy that you just go there and you can get Krishna praying. There's also Maya there. There's also covering of Mayapur Navadvip. Even like here, how many are really in Braj? Even in Navadvip, how many are really in Navadvip or in Mayapur? Completely. Not so easy even there. We know, we have seen. And Maya is there also. The modes of material nature are there also. You have been there, right?
Yes.
And you were completely absorbed? No? You? You're absorbed?
Got it all.
You? Not so easy. Even in Mayapur. Mayapur, of course. Is Maya is there too in Mayapur. There's Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Even there. But, Mahaprabhu is a little more merciful than Krishna. And Navadvip is a little more merciful than Braj in this realm. So, that is there. So, but yes, you can go there and you can get mercy. But to thank Krishna praying, not so easy, even in Mayapur. But maybe a little easier than here. But still. So, some devotees are more attracted to Mayapur and some are more attracted to Braj, to Vrindavan. And if one is sincere, so then you can attain perfection here also. No problem, ultimately. Because if you are humble, tolerant, respectful, you get so much benefit being here in Braj. It is the highest abode. If you remember Mahaprabhu, then it's a little easier. If you don't remember Mahaprabhu, then it's a little more difficult. So here in Braj also you can remember Mahaprabhu. You can remember Navadvip. So Navadvip is part of Braj. So here in Braj, and so we can remember Navadvip also. So therefore, if you have the proper consciousness and you take shelter of Mahaprabhu, staying here, you can get the same benefit. You can be either in Mayapur or you can be here. But you must have the proper understanding. So you can be Mayapur and you can be Maya. But if you have the proper consciousness, then you can see Braj in Mayapur. In Navadvip, you can see Braj. If you are in Braj, you are in Braj. And you can also see Mayapur and Navadvip, because it is part of Braj. And you see Gonitai? You see Gonitai here?
Yes.
Where are they?
In Braj.
Huh, what?
In Braj.
In Braj?
In
They're in Navadvip, no? They're in Navadvip. Right? Gonitai and Navadvip. So here in our temple, Gonitai are there.
Yes.
So that is Navadvip, right? Huh? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, though. Oh, here. Mahaprabhu's photo is here, and even they were here, no? Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. Right? So Navadvip was there. Now it's downstairs. So Navadvip is here also, if you have the consciousness. So pure devotee is in Navadvip and it is in Braj. Both places.
So 1:2 is heard Gurudev.
What?
Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj
Jagannath Das
lived 6
Babaji.
months here and 6
Yeah.
months.
Because Mayapur is nice and Vrindavan is nice. I also want to be more time in Mayapur and Navadvip. Only 6 days we were there. We always
I
always
to
think we
also
want to
more
stay
than-
longer. Maybe 2 years ago we were 10 days or That was nice. But I would like to stay.
One time I
also.
was there for 15 days
Yeah.
in summer, in Chennai.
I'm also thinking maybe I should just stay for half a year here and half a year there. But what to do? But Jagannath Das Babaji was more fortunate. Of course, pure devotee, so he was staying here and there. When he was here, he was
We should
remembering
stay.
Mahaprabhu,
We
and
should
when he was in Mayapur, he was remembering Braj and Krishna.
We should stay there a little longer.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Jai. Mayapur Navadip Dham ki jai, Braj Dham ki jai.
जी
अभी आप लोगों का तो घर इधर बन गया, इधर ही रहो.